There is a Sahabi by the name of Hazrat Abdullah bin Amar bin As radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, and his ibadah was perhaps one of the greatest in the history of even the companions. It is said that he would fast during the day, and he would fast every day, and he would stay up the entire night, and he would finish the Quran once every single night. One day, Abdullah bin Amr bin As radiyallahu ta'ala was seated with Rasulullah when all of a sudden Rasulullah looks upon the door of Masjid al-Nabwi and he says, whoever enters through the door is a Jannati. An elderly companion, an Ansari, enters. And as he enters, it is said that the water from the wuzu was still dripping from his beard. He enters. Abdullah bin As, he thinks to himself, bin Amr bin As thinks to himself, what is he doing that I'm not doing? I fast every day. I read salah during the entire night. I finish the Quran once a night. The next day comes. Rasulullah is seated with a group of companions. Abdullah bin Amr radiyallahu ta'ala amongst them. He says, look to the door of Masjid al-Nabwi. Here comes a man of Jannah. Here comes a Jannati. The same elderly Ansari Sahabi comes in. His beard again wet with the water from wuzu. Second day, third day, again Rasulullah is seated with his companions and he says, look to the door, here comes a man from Jannah. Again that exact same Ansari Sahabi comes in. Abdullah bin Amr bin As, he is so confused and he is at a wit's end. What is this Ansari Sahabi doing that I am not doing? So he goes to this Ansari Sahabi and he says, oh my elderly Sahabi, I wish to stay with you for a couple of days. They were hospitable folk. They said, no worries. The Ansari Sahabi says, no worries. So Abdullah bin Amr bin As, he goes in and he begins to read Isha Salah along with Sahabi in Masjid al-Nabwi. They go back to the Ansari Sahabi's house, and Abdullah bin Amr bin As, he quickly goes under the blanket and almost hiding, he says, let me check what this Sahabi is going to do now. The individual, he comes in, the Sahabi comes in, Allahumma bismika amutu wa ahya, and goes to sleep. No tahajjud, no nawafil, no Quran. The next morning comes up. He does not wake up until the azan of Fajr. No roza, no fasting. The second day comes. Exactly the same day. Abdullah bin Amr bin As is following him every single step. All he does is recite the 5 daily prayers, goes to work, comes home, eats and sleeps. That's it. On the third day, he's had enough. He grabs his bed, whatever, his blankets or whatever he had for his sleeping material, and he begins to leave. And he scoffs at the companion. The Ansari, he says, why are you scoffing at me, O Abdullah bin Amr bin As radiyallahu ta'ala anhu? He says, the Nabi of Allah declared you a Jannati not once, not twice, but 3 times. And you do not fast during the day. You do not read Quran during the night. You have not woken up for tahajjud. For 3 days I have seen you. So he says, Abdullah radiyallahu ta'ala to this Ansari Sahabi, what is it that you do that makes you a man of Jannah? The man looks to himself and he says, oh my young companion, I do not know. I am not sure at all. So Abdullah, almost defeated, he begins to leave, when all of a sudden this Ansari Sahabi, he says, wait, O companion, O young companion, there is one thing that I do. Before I go to sleep, I look upon my heart and I make sure that I bear no jealousy, anger or hatred for another insan. Abdullah bin Amr radiyallahu ta'ala, he says, Hadha huwa, that's it. He leaps up and he proclaims, yes, that's it, that's it. But oh my Ansari Sahabi, that is not for me. That is too difficult for me to do. My dear brothers, we want Jannah, but how many of us have hatred and jealousy for the other insan? And remember, this Sahabi did not say for another Muslim, for another insan, for another human being. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow all of us to be individuals of Jannah.